We all have that one friend who just seems to have it completely together. They wake up early without hitting snooze. Their assignments are turned in a day before the deadline. They actually go to the gym, and they somehow still have time to hang out on the weekends. From the outside looking in, it looks like they possess a different level of willpower. Meanwhile, you might be hitting snooze for the fourth time, staring at a pile of laundry on your chair that's been there since Tuesday, and wondering why it's so incredibly hard to just do the things you know you're supposed to do. Here's the secret that changes everything. That friend doesn't have more willpower than you. They just have better habits. Willpower is a limited battery. It drains every single time you use it to make a decision. If you have to force yourself to study, force yourself to work out, and force yourself to clean your room, you're gonna burn out before the week is even half over. Today, we're gonna look at the actual neuroscience of how habits are formed. We're gonna explore why relying on motivation is a mathematically losing game, and how to successfully program your brain to do the hard things entirely on autopilot. Welcome back to episode 3 of Progress Over Perfect. This is your space for organizing your life, leveling up your daily routines, and dropping the stress without the toxic hustle culture. We deal in reality, actual science, and strategies that make sense for a busy, unpredictable student schedule. Episode 2, we talked about setting goals that work and shifting from vague wishes to concrete microsteps. But a goal is just a destination on a map. To actually get there, you need a reliable vehicle, and that vehicle is your daily habits. Today, we're going to talk about building good habits. We'll break down the neurology of the basal ganglia, how to design your physical environment for success, and how to stop fighting yourself every time you need to get something done. To build a habit, you have to understand what a habit actually is on a biological level. It's not a personality trait. It's a neurological survival mechanism. According to extensive research published by the National Institutes of Health, or the NIA, habit formation relies heavily on a deeply embedded part of the brain called the basal ganglia. When you do something for the first time, like navigating to a new classroom or trying to memorize a new math formula, your prefrontal cortex is highly active. Your brain is working incredibly hard to process the new information, make decisions, and evaluate your surroundings. This takes massive amounts of mental energy. But as you repeat that exact same action, your brain starts to automate it to save energy for other tasks. This neurological process is called chunking. The brain converts a sequence of actions into an automatic routine. Once a behavior is chunked into a habit, the active decision-making part of your brain effectively powers down. You do not consciously decide to tie your left shoe before your right, or lock the door when you leave the house. Your basal ganglia just runs on the pre-programmed scripts. Every habit, whether it is studying or mindlessly scrolling to social media, runs on a continuous 3-part psychological pattern. The first part is the cue, the trigger that tells your brain to start the behavior. It could be a time of day, an emotional state, or a physical object like your phone buzzing. The second part is the routine, the behavior itself, which can be physical, mental, or emotional. The last part is the reward, the benefit you get from the behavior. The reward phase involves the release of dopamine, which tells your brain, "This felt good. Remember this loop for next time." If you want to build a good habit or break a bad one, you cannot just use brute force. You have to actively hack this loop. So how do we take this high-level neuroscience and apply it to an actual Thursday afternoon when you're exhausted and just want to lay in bed? You use proven behavioral frameworks designed to bypass your need for motivation. The first one is to design your environment. Most people think they need more discipline, when what they actually need is a better environment. If you want to build a habit of reading before bed, but your book is zipped inside your backpack across the room and your phone is resting right on your pillow, your physical environment is actively working against your goal. Make your cue for the good habit incredibly obvious. Put your gym clothes directly on your desk chair the night before so you cannot sit down without touching them. Leave your history textbook open on your keyboard. Visual cues are the strongest triggers for the basal ganglia to initiate a routine. The second one is the 2-minute rule. Habits almost always fail because the routine we're trying to adopt requires way too much energy. This ties right back to the microsteps we discussed last week. If you want to start a habit of writing college essays or applying to scholarships, sitting down with the intention to write for 2 straight hours is terrifying for your brain. Your brain perceives it as a massive energy drain and will trigger procrastination. Instead, scale the habit down so it takes 2 minutes or less. The habit is no longer write an essay. The habit is simply open my laptop and write one single sentence. You are mastering the art of showing up. A habit must be established neurologically before it can be improved practically. Once the 2-minute action is automatic, you can naturally expand it. The third and last one is called habit stacking. Instead of trying to force a brand new habit into a random, unstructured part of your day, anchor it to something you already do on autopilot. This concept uses your existing neural pathways as a launchpad for new ones. For example, if you want to drink more water, you should say, "After I pour my morning bowl of cereal, I will drink 1 full glass of water." As you start building these new routines, you need to set realistic expectations to avoid early burnout. You have almost certainly heard the advice it takes 21 days to build a habit. That is a complete myth. The 21-day timeline actually originated in the 1960s from a plastic surgeon noticing how long it took patients to get used to their new faces. It had absolutely nothing to do with behavioral science. To find the truth, we looked to a landmark study conducted by Dr. Philippa Lally, a health psychology researcher at University College London, which was heavily highlighted by the British Psychological Society, or BPS, and the American Psychological Association, or APA. Dr. Lally's team tracked individuals trying to build daily habits like drinking water or running before dinner. They found that on average it takes exactly 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. More importantly, the timeline is highly variable. Depending on the person and how complex the task was, it took anywhere from 18 days to 254 days to form a habit. Drinking a glass of water took a few weeks. Doing 50 sit-ups took several months. Do not panic if week 4 still feels incredibly hard. You are not failing. Your brain is simply still writing the connection. Even with the best intentions, it is easy to fall into structural traps. Watch out for these 2 major roadblocks. The first one is the all or nothing mindset. You study for 5 days in a row. On the 6th day, you fall asleep early and miss your study session. Suddenly, you feel like a total failure. You believe the streak is ruined and you give up completely. This all or nothing mindset destroys long-term progress. In Dr. Lally's habit formation study, researchers specifically tested what happens when you mess up. They found that missing 1 single day had 0 long-term impact on the habit formation process. One mistake does not erase the neural pathways you built over the last 5 days. However, missing multiple days in a row did cause the habit to degrade. Use the golden rule of habit tracking. Never miss twice. If you drop the ball on a Tuesday, don't feel guilty, but make it your absolute highest priority to get back on track on Wednesday. The second one is relying on motivation over systems. Motivation is an emotion, and just like happiness or anger, it comes and goes based on how much sleep you got, what you ate, and how stressed you are. If you only do your homework when you feel motivated, you will be constantly behind. Do not rely on your feelings. Rely on your system. Rely on your visual cues and stacked habits to pull through the days when your motivation is at absolute 0. It is time to take this information out of your headphones and put it into the real world. Your assignment for the next 7 days is to build 1 habit using the habit stacking framework. Identify 1 reliable daily routine you do without fail, like brushing your teeth or packing your lunch. Stack 1 tiny 2-minute good habit directly on top of it. Write it out physically as a formula, and then don't try to overhaul your entire life this week. Just write this 1 tiny unbreakable connection and let me know how it goes in the comments. Thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of Progress Over Perfect. Taking a couple minutes out of your day to actively study how your own mind works is a huge step towards taking control of your future, and you should give yourself credit for showing up. If this episode helped something click for you, like, subscribe, and share it with a classmate or friend who might be struggling with the academic grind right now. Remember, you do not need to be perfectly disciplined. You just need to design a better system. Have a great week, give yourself some grace when you inevitably make a mistake, and I'll talk to you next time.